It's a de-stressor.
He's a good de-stressor. Okay.
He's a good de-stressor.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, this will distress us, and he will de-stress us.
You ever been a part of a school lockdown, like a literal school lockdown?
Closest I've been, they evacuated the entire school to the football stadium, which is essentially built out of rock.
Yeah.
To the visitor side, the side away from the school, because there was a bomb threat. And so we sat out there for 3 hours while they went through the school trying to figure that out.
I was going to say, it's a good way to take a 3-hour break.
Yeah, but it's in the hot sun, and the visitors' bleachers are crap.
Yeah. Okay, you got a point there.
Home side's pretty nice, but
it's too close to the school.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's a funny thing. The home bleachers at my high school were furthest away. Yeah, they were the furthest away. The visitors' bleachers were close. So hey, visitors' bleachers. If there was an actual bomb in the school, y'all be at the most threat. Actually, I was part of a school. I was part of a. Okay, we actually did tests.
Oh yeah.
For school lockdowns. Okay, the one thing that happened. Okay, they didn't tell us that it was a test.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they probably shouldn't.
Well, the first time they did, it was the first time they did it. They told us it was a test.
Mm-hmm.
Second time it happened, it wasn't. It was a test as well.
But they didn't tell you.
But they didn't tell us. Instead, all we heard was we were sitting there in the corner. And we were all joking and laughing and everything.
Oh, yeah, just normal day.
The teacher telling us, be quiet, be quiet. Next thing you know, we hear at the door.
No.
And we're like, everyone just goes dead quiet.
And they're just like, what?
Teacher, all of a sudden, teacher's eyes go like this. Teacher's eyes are like, and all of a sudden, we hear on the other side of the door, it's like, all right, class, y'all did good. All right.
Duh.
Good job. Starts walking, and we hear him walking down. It was our principal.
Oh, okay.
It was our principal. He was just like, hey, because that's one thing he was doing. On every floor, he was doing a random test. Like going up to each door and testing to see if anyone would be stupid enough to actually walk up to the door.
Yeah.
And
sorry, I'm
no, it's cool. It's
with
family stuff, dude. I get you.
Yeah, I know.
So
anyway, I just want to make sure that the internet doesn't think, oh, Ben's so uninterested, he's sending text. No, I got it. My mom's been in the hospital because of a hip replacement, and we're coordinating things. So
yeah,
I'm sorry, I had to take care of that.
Hence, that's one reason why we got Chico.
One reason why we have Chico, because Chico, I don't want Chico to be home alone. He's been kind of down.
Yeah. Recently. Well, I think he's doing good here. I think he's doing well.
I wanted him to be around people a little bit, and also, since we're talking about creepy, true lockdown stories from Mr. Nightmare, this will cause us distress, and he will help us de-stress.
Yes.
So there you go.
So
hand on puppy to pet. And Chico's just like, yes, pet me.
All right.
Pet me. Give me love.
So here we go. 3 true school lockdown stories. Here we go.
Yep.
This is something you guys have been requesting the hell out of for a long time. It took a lot of time, but I finally found 3 stories that take place during school lockdowns.
Okay.
It was a typical boring day in calculus, only it was Friday, 7th period, meaning the week was almost over and spring break would finally be upon us, so everybody was getting antsy in their seats, I could tell. We didn't have a test that day like a lot of my friends did with their other teachers, so our teacher in the middle of class just decided to start playing games with us on Sporkle.com.
Oh yeah.
He was a very laid-back teacher like that.
Yeah.
As we were doing some brand logo quiz on Sporkle, I remember the exact moment it happened. Right after my friend answered a question, I remember the exact answer too, Adidas. The dean's voice came through the loudspeaker. He sounded panicked and frantic as he told all the teachers this was not a drill and to go into lockdown. I actually got the chills, and I got goosebumps on my arms as our usually laid-back teacher too seemed panicked as he ran to turn off the lights and ushered us to the back corner of the room. We all sat in silence for about 2 minutes, and then the usual buzzing that came from a panel in the back of the room ceased, indicating that the school must have cut all the power. We all looked at each other, realizing this must be serious. A few more minutes of waiting later, we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs coming down the hallway. 2 girls in the class actually started crying, which made all of us even more scared.
Well, yeah.
As the screaming got closer to the classroom, the lunatic-sounding man started banging on the lockers while screaming, "I'll kill all of you." It was at that moment that I started to fear for my life. My teacher shushed us as we all looked at each other to see our peers' reactions. The banging then moved from the lockers to our classroom door.
Oh, good.
Yep.
That's when one of the crying girls screamed no. The banging on the door only grew worse as the man started screaming, "Open up." 2 of the girls in the class were crying out loud now. It felt like an eternity that man was pounding at the door. But eventually, he finally continued down the hallway, screaming like a mentally insane person until we could not hear him anymore. I'd say 10 minutes later, though it felt like half an hour given the situation, the dean came back on the loudspeaker explaining the situation, which was surprising for him to do. He explained that some apparently mentally unstable person entered the building and assaulted the woman sitting at the front desk, causing her to flee the building screaming, and staff wasn't sure if the man was armed or not. Now, this was before the school had cameras or could afford proper security,
And
so the school was wide
had
open to
locked it.
something like this happening.
Yeah.
The staff had done a sweep of all the hallways and classrooms and couldn't find him, so the dean instructed the teachers to resume teaching but to keep all the doors locked and to not let any students leave for any reasons.
Well, yeah.
The most disturbing part, however, is that one of the janitors working the night shift found the man sleeping in one of the storage closets near the back end of the school, and according to rumors that were spread by my peers, sticking out of his pocket was a .44 Magnum. The janitor must have done something stupid to wake him up, for example, leaving the closet door open, because by the time a police officer could arrive on the scene, the man was gone.
Yep.
My entire class, as far as I know, to this day, has no idea if this man was ever found, but I like to think that right now, he's being given the proper help that he needs.
Good. That's the way you want that to end.
That's story 1.
Yeah.
That's story
Yeah.
number 1. Jesus.
Yep. Seriously, pet the puppy. It helps.
No. I get
helps.
you. I get you.
It helps.
Pet. It's like that scene from Get Him to the Greek. Rub the furry wool. Rub the furry. Oh, why can't life be so simple? Why can't life just be this simple? Exactly.
You just pet the puppy.
Man.
It's fine.
Okay. So story number 2. Here we go. Sheesh. There's 3 of these.
Yep. And of course, they're doing the
My
background.
school has 2 lunch periods.
Oh, yeah.
First lunch period is for all
dude.
6th graders
I'll
and some
tell you
7th
after.
graders.
Yep.
The second lunch period is for the other half of the 7th graders and all 8th graders. The lockdown happened in the beginning of October. The day the lockdown occurred, it was overcast and rainy. During the first lunch period, I heard 4 loud booms. I personally thought it was thunder, but the entire lunch crowd started screaming.
Bang. Wait a minute.
I was
That's
thinking
only
those
3
kids were
bangs.
just serious pussies, but the
Bang.
campus security came in and started yelling at people to go into the multi-purpose room. And the kids who were in line buying lunch had to throw out their lunch and come inside. Me and some friends went inside the room along with a huge group of other kids. Everyone was curious as to what was happening. Our multi-purpose room is huge, and the back wall of the room is made of see-through glass. When me and my friends were rushed inside the campus, security was covering the glass with the curtains, and there were adults at every exit. My friend Eric was curious, as well as the rest of us, so he asked one of the adults what was going on. When he came back, he said, "You know how right in front of TMS there's those houses?" I replied, "Yeah."
Yeah.
"There's this mentally disabled, crazy man that barricaded himself in front of his house, and he's threatening to commit suicide and kill the cops if he's evicted. He was walking around outside of school watching kids in a weird way, Eric told us. It turned out the man was also a registered sex offender, making matters worse.
Oh, good.
We were stuck in the multi-purpose room for a whole hour, taking up 2 periods. After the whole thing was settled, we were escorted to our classrooms one by one. I later found out that the man lives next to my friend Brandy, who told me about the previous Halloween when she saw the same man at his window cutting his arm and writing in his own blood, "Don't come here or I'll kill you," on his window. Of course, being Halloween, people, including Brandy, assumed it was just for the holiday.
Yeah.
But after this horrific incident, we knew this man was mental, and we're glad he never got near us.
Okay, that's 2.
Yep.
I'm 22 years old, fresh out of college, and I recently got a job at my old high school as a sort of computer intern in the school basement. The basement of the school is very messy and disorganized.
School basement.
But there is a small 3-person office that's actually very nice down there. It has 3 nice big desks, 2 mini fridges, a flat screen TV mounted on the wall, and oh so satisfying air conditioning, a luxury the students and teachers cannot enjoy in the school.
Oh,
and of course all the
Lucky
school
you.
servers and other
well, they gotta
computery
keep the
stuff.
servers cool.
Yeah.
I got the job because 3 of my old computer teachers flat out adored me. I could actually consider them as real friends, not just teacher figures, so they all helped tremendously in landing me this job. It's been great, until something that happened a few weeks ago. My 2 co-workers that shared the office with me, Dave and Gary, weren't in the office at the time.
Oh, good.
They were upstairs working on papers or whatever. I was eating my sandwich during my lunch break when I got a phone call from one of the women in the front office telling me the school was on lockdown and that somebody, possibly armed, had entered the school. There wasn't much that I could do other than turn off the lights because, surprisingly, as nice as this little office was, it didn't have an actual door to it, just a big opening, and the door to the whole basement didn't even have a working lock. For my own safety, I did turn off all the lights in the office and my computer screen. I kept my phone on the desk, texting both Gary and Dave, but they wouldn't respond. I sat down there in the dark, playing games on my phone for like 20 minutes, waiting for the call from up front to tell me to resume working. I had no idea what was happening. I couldn't hear what was going on upstairs from down here.
Yeah.
But I was not allowed to make any calls until I was informed that the lockdown was over. Then, the noisy basement door opened. As the creaking echoed across the basement and into my office, I sat up from my seat, wondering if I should call out Gary or Dave.
Phone.
I was eager to get some info from them. Someone then came running down the stairs, and their footsteps were approaching my office. I pushed away my chair and crawled under my desk. Somebody entered the office, but did not turn on the lights. There was just silence. I can't even describe the fear I was experiencing. I felt like if I made one sudden noise, I'd be a dead man. Suddenly, my phone dinged as I got a text message. I felt my entire world shrivel up and die at that one moment.
This is why I keep my phone
as
on
I
silent.
clenched my teeth in fear. Footsteps suddenly moved closer to me until I finally dove out from under the desk in capitulation, begging whoever it was not to kill me. And just then, someone grabbed my arm and pulled me up. It was some guy in a red plaid button-up, jeans, and a reddish-black cap. He told me, "It's okay, I'm just down here hiding with you." "What's going on up there?" I whispered to him. He kind of ignored my question and asked me if there's an exit down here. I told him, yeah, around that way.
Thanks.
Before he could do anything else, I asked him, "Who are you?" There was a brief moment of silence before he started explaining he was coming in to pick up his son when a teacher told him to hide. After his explanation, I checked my phone and saw the text I received was from Dave. It said, "Dude, this is fucking crazy. Some
There it
guy
is.
with a gun
Yep,
shot
knew
Mr.
it.
Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and hat. Whatever you do, don't come upstairs." I was about to reread that text out loud to the man until I realized. I looked up and felt my stomach sink. The man seemed to catch on to my suspicious stare.
Oh, good.
Panicking, all I could think to do was to run for the upstairs. A gunshot echoed through the basement, and I could hear the bullet ricochet off something metal in the darkness. But thank God the bullet missed me, and I made it upstairs. Fortunately, police were waiting at all exits, including the basement exit, and caught the man the second he opened the door. More good news. Our teacher, Mr. Buckley, survived the gunshot. It was later determined that the man and Mr. Buckley had some beef for whatever reason, but that was never revealed. All we know is that Mr. Buckley couldn't have done anything that would have warranted this kind of reaction. And I know that the sound of that gunshot will forever echo in my mind.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay. So actually, there was you were talking about like the music, the atmospheric.
Yeah, they're doing the atmospheric stuff to build tension.
Yeah, well, I watched a video not too long ago. It was actually just audio from a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It was I think it was a Chris Jericho podcast.
Oh yeah.
And Chavo Guerrero was on there.
Ooh.
And he was talking about the last time he talked to Chris Benoit.
They actually covered that murder on. They covered that on My Favorite Murder as well. The Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
Murder suicide. Oh
well,
boy.
Here's the thing.
That was a mess.
He talked to Chris Benoit on the day before.
Mm-hmm.
He killed his wife.
Good.
And then Chavo Guerrero also talked to Chris the day after he killed his wife. He talked to him. He talked to him, and he said Chris sounded off. He sounded like he wasn't sure of anything. He was constantly just like in a state of just questioning himself and his actions and everything. And he said that the last words that Chris Benoit said to him were, "Chavo, I love you." No, Chavo, I love you, man. And then he didn't hear from Chris the next day or two, and then he was called into Vince's office and was told that Chris Benoit had done that horrible thing. But while they were playing that audio in this video,
mm-hmm.
in the background, they had this like very low tone.
Mm-hmm.
Like just very atmospheric, very very tense and scary music playing, and it was just like holy.
Yeah.
You see, atmosphere, music and atmosphere adds so much to the feel of something. I mean honestly, that's just like there's a Wonderworks over in
oh yeah.
Wonderworks. There's a place you can go called Wonderworks. They have
basically the building looks like it's been flipped upside down.
Yeah, it's really cool looking.
I've never been in.
You've never been in it?
Never been in.
It's interesting, dude. They got some pretty cool stuff in there. We'll have to go by and let you see it.
My family was never. I mean, we never really had the money to spend on that sort of thing.
Well, we'll go as one day as like a road venture.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'd like that because there's one thing in there. It's a sensory deprivation area.
Oh no!
It's completely sealed off from outside sound.
Mm-hmm.
And you sit in a chair, and all you do is you put on headphones.
Yeah, they're noise canceling headphones.
No, not noise canceling headphones.
Regular headphones.
These are high quality headphones that actually play like play a scene. It plays like like an audio scene, like a horror movie. Like for instance, you're there with a group of friends, and it puts you in the different places within the scene. It's binaural, yeah, and
yeah,
it puts you in the different.
It's essentially in stereo.
Yeah, it's full surround stereo.
Yeah,
and you're walking, you hear the footsteps, and it gets intense near the end. It gets really intense, and it's really really good. So audio adds a lot to it.
That's true.
Audio adds a lot to things.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. Without the audio, like the background audio,
it'd just be him talking.
It would have been him talking and random pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, and they did some editing on the images and what have you.
Yeah.
I mean, because he was using stock footage and stuff that he found online and all of that.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that he got pictures of the actual school.
No. Just basic.
Yeah,
basic stock ones. Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I was sitting there thinking, I was just like, man, these pictures are kind of goofy. If it didn't have the sound, this would seem really dumb.
Yeah. The best one I think he did was the office in the basement from the third story and the cell phone light.
Yeah.
That was really well done. You see, actually, the girl that I dated for a little while, she talked about doing stuff like that. You know, like creepypasta stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And also, like, Reddit horror stories and everything. Like
Dude, there's some great Reddit horror stories.
Oh, yeah. And she talked about, like, doing a readout of it, you know, in like a creepy voice with the atmosphere and everything, and doing, like, sound effects and everything. And I'm just like, yeah, I really like that. But she never committed to it. I was just like, come on. Well, I'll do it. I'll help you out with it.
Yeah.
And we can do this together.
Well, but such is life.
C'est la vie. But honestly, I'm glad I was never in a lockdown situation like that, because some of them can get very, very, very bad. Because some lockdown, well, the reason for lockdowns are because of situations like at Columbine,
right,
and especially at Virginia Tech, which the Virginia Tech one helped out a lot, because while a lot of people did die, a lot more could have died because of without the lockdown parameters.
Lockdown protocol.
Yeah, protocol. Yeah.
Actually, you know, now that I think about it, I did remember one that I was in.
Okay.
So it was 2 days before Thanksgiving. It was a Tuesday. It was a Tuesday night, and I was at the college campus. The reason that I remember these details is because the next day was going to be my first date with Elena. Yeah. The day before, she had a recital because she sings, and with her voice teacher, she had a recital. So I went in early to talk to the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Boer.
Famed in song and story.
Yep. And, you know, I was just trying to get out of my own head because this is the first time I'd ever asked anybody out. And so we're sitting there talking beforehand, and we hear something come over the radio or over the loudspeakers saying, you know, we're in lockdown because there's somebody on campus with a gun. And I'm going, I mean, we're on the 4th floor of the library at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my concern wasn't, oh crap, a dude's going to come in here and shoot me. My concern was, oh crap, you know, A, what if I miss Elena's recital? Because B, what if he's headed over there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, there aren't any entrances to the library except for, like, the main one. So they just had everybody move off the first floor. They had everybody move off the first floor and go up. So, you know, it got a little crowded.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. But thankfully it got resolved. I booked it across campus to get to the recital, made it on time, and they caught the guy.
That's
they lifted the lockdown just in time because they caught him.
That's good.
But that was something. I don't know why I didn't think of that until just now.
Well, sometimes we need refreshers to really get our heads in the right area.
Yep.
I mean, I get that. I mean, honestly, there are things I forget about from my childhood, and then all of a sudden, boom, one little thing triggers that memory, and it just comes flowing back. I mean, it happens, dude. It happens to all of us. And, dang.
It's just one of those funny things that happens.
Yeah. Just moments of terror and all that.
Oh, yeah. I actually, surprisingly, I wasn't that scared.
You were just more worried about missing the recital, and
because
you were worried about Elena.
Well, I figured it's like, okay, if the guy comes in here, I know all the points he could enter from, because there's only 2. I've got a pretty good idea how he's going to move. And, I mean, I've always got 2 multi-tools on me, but that means I've got 2 knives. So it's like, okay. And also, and this is a weird thing, I walk ridiculously quietly.
Yeah, you do walk really quietly.
Why? That's just my natural state of movement. But that means that I know how to move around without making any noise. So, I mean, I figure if something's going to happen, and, you know, let's be real, if something's going to happen and he's going to kill me, I'm going down fighting.
Yeah.
Like, that's just...
Of course. Well,
and of course,
I think
the
everyone...
other thought is, boy, wouldn't this just be my luck? You know, I finally get a date with a girl.
And you die.
And I get murdered.
And you get
Wouldn't
killed.
that just be the way?
That would be actually kind of ironic.
Story of my life.
Ironic. The Ben Tolliver story. I actually, it'd just be irony.
Yep.
Irony. The Ben Tolliver story.
Well, Chico must not have been too scared because he's asleep again.
Oh, poor little guy.
He's old, so he sleeps a lot.
Yeah, well, he's earned his sleep.
Yeah. He and my dad used to be pro napping buddies.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He is. He's a very good boy.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning into this. Honestly, we've done some Mr. Nightmare in the past, but this is one that was wanted by the fans.
Very hotly requested.
Yeah, very hotly requested. So, if you want us to watch more Mr. Nightmare, we'll try.
I mean, we'll do our best.
Try.
Don't fault us for having a stress relief puppy.
Exactly. Do not, please, because we love this little guy.
He's a good boy.
He's a cutie pie.
Honestly, I think he may show up more even after Mom gets back from the hospital, because somebody's got to take care of him, and I think it's probably going to have to be me. So, and the internet seems to like him.
Yeah, the internet seems to like him very much.
You know, he's been a good boy here.
Yeah,
so,
he has. He's been a good one.
Yep.
All right. Well,
so
thank you all once again for tuning in. Yeah, signing off for the Renegades, I'm Nate.
I'm Ben.
That's Chico.
Yep.
And we'll see you later, everyone. Peace out. I'm Chico.